Hello all you intertweebs, welcome back once again to PowerDirector Made Simple. Today's video should be interesting and informative as well, so stick around. After last month's update, there was another mini update that followed about a week later, but it introduced another problem. The update notifications were stuck in an endless loop, taking you from version 1923 back to 1915, and then back to 1923, and so on. I notified my contact with Cyberlink support about the problem, and for once, they agreed with me, as can be seen in this screenshot of their response. Now, I have to tell you that it's quite a rarity when they openly admit to agreeing with me, so I'm going to have to print this one out and have it framed and hang it on my wall. Now, on the same day as their response, August the 5th, Cyberlink released their annual program update, as they always do every year in August, which increases the major version number now from 23 to 24. What that means is that after updating, you would be running version 24.0.0805.0, which is what you see when I click on the PowerDirector icon in the upper left corner. The good news is that so far I can't see any major differences in this update. The menus and the layout all seem to be the same except for one major annoying change. If you look closely along the left side, you can see the menu item for background images, which has been around for quite a while. Within it are a multitude of backgrounds ranging from fabric to marble to wood to greenery and others. If you look at this screenshot of the previous version 1923, that category disappeared from the menus in that version, and I never noticed it at the time. Well, it's now back with a vengeance. As I click through these background images, you can see that I have already downloaded nearly all of them, as evidenced by the lack of the download icon on each thumbnail. Now, so far, no problem. The menu seems to be restored. But now I'm going to click on My Menu above it, and there is a new category called Downloads. I'll click on that to see what's inside of that. Oh my God, it's the same as the background images, except all thrown into one category, and of course not in any sort of alphabetic order. I'll prove that they are listed twice. From this Downloads category, notice each image has a name under it. I'll select the first one called New Year 05 and move it down to the timeline. Notice a green check mark appears in the upper right corner of the thumbnail to indicate that it is in use. Next, I'm going to change the categories along the left side by clicking on Background Images. Notice that there are many subcategories, so I'm going to scroll down until I find Holidays and click on that to select it. In the media library are all of the background images for holidays. Notice that there's one already with a green check mark. The only thing that is different is that before, I'm fairly certain that there was a name under each thumbnail here, such as what we saw when looking at the Downloads category. I could bore you with right-clicking on the same image in each category and selecting properties, but trust me when I say that each one has the same identical file path. Okay, Cyberlink, let's get it straight. Just keep it the old way with everything in the background image category, both downloaded and yet to be downloaded. There is no need to start listing things twice. Here I go again with another message off the Cyberlink support. I'll delete that image off of the timeline. Now, aside from that menu system goof up, there are no new titles included with this update. I consider that a good thing because I think we already have much more than enough. If I jump over into the Transitions category and click on What's New, there seems to be some new transitions called Blur 19 through Blur 28. I could swear that these were just added a month or two ago, but in checking my records, it was Blur 09 through Blur 18 that were added in May. Now, why we need so many blur transitions is just a blur in my mind. I'll quickly play these video files on the timeline with blur number 16 applied. Now, hey, here's an idea, Cyberlink. Why not have just one main blur transition, but add a means of editing or modifying the transitions so that all of the variations are available? A blur from left to right can be the same transition as a blur from right to left, with just an option to change direction. You do that with so many of the older transitions, but now you seem to want to create a separate transmission for the same repetitive movements. Now, right now, none of the blur transitions have any options other than to change the duration. I'm going to select both clips on the timeline and hit delete and remove and fill the gap. When I skip over that crud about the blur transitions and click on Effects, Video Effects, and then What's New, there are 12 new templates called Party On Dudes. I mean just Party 01 through Party 12, which reside in the newly created Party subcategory. As you can see, they are intended to add some visual spice intended for scenes depicting parties and celebrations such as birthdays. Now, in addition, down in the Filters and LUTs category, there were 6 portrait filters that were included in updates pushed on the systems about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to apply the Jeju 06 filter to the first image on the timeline, but not on the second identical image. Now, as I scrub the playhead back and forth, you can easily see the difference that the filter has upon the color spectrum and contrast levels for this particular image. Next, I'm going to click on Overlays at the top, then Stickers along the left side, and then What's New. There we find 20 new overlays, arrow 01 through arrow 20, which normally reside in the Pointers category. When I drag arrow 06 onto the timeline so that it appears on top of the food image, the important thing is that I can change its size and location quite easily. I can do that directly in the preview window, or I can click the blue edit window to open the motion graphics overlay window. There are many motion graphic images in which you are not able to change the color, but fortunately for these arrows, I can change the color. Here, I'll click on the color button at the top and choose whatever color I want. And then I'm going to click on OK. Now, with the playhead at the beginning of this clip, I'm going to hit play, and the moving arrow is now pointing towards one of the major food groups known to modern civilization. In addition, there are 33 humorous and more typical face cover stickers added, such as face cover 16 through face cover 48. And these normally reside in the cover-ups category. So that's it for the new templates included with this update. No titles, 10 transitions, 18 total effects, and 53 overlay stickers, which includes all of those ridiculous face cover-ups. Next, I'm going to click on the megaphone icon in the upper right to see what's new in this version. Now, Cyberlink is getting a little bit better about showing exactly what is new in each update, and this window shows that improvement. For feature updates, everything seems to be just the new and improved version, with nothing specifically new for the first time. For example, this version claims smarter auto edits with full control. When I reviewed this feature back in May, the biggest shortcomings were the fact that no matter how much material you threw at it to begin with, your final video output was limited to about 60 seconds. And the biggest shortcoming was that Cyberlink used copyrighted music tracks as the background music without even informing you about the name of the track or the artist. So does this new and improved version address either of those shortcomings? Nope, the same old stuff as before. Never allow PowerDirector to automatically add background music, especially if you plan on uploading to any social media platform. Otherwise, the wrath of the copyright gods will rain down upon you. Instead of choosing to export the auto-edit creation, you should choose to add to the timeline. And once there, delete that music track that PowerDirector added and change it over to one of your own choosing that won't put you into copyright jail. Now that's what I would call an improved method. The other new and improved feature seems to be enhanced LUT editing. Well, there is absolutely nothing enhanced about the LUTs themselves. There is one minor change about the technique of applying LUTs to the timeline. I'll probably do a short video about that real soon. Another new item seems to be motion graphic overlays quick editing. I haven't figured out what PowerDirector means by this, and I can't find any difference than before. So I'm just going to have to get back to you on this. Next, there is an image to video upgrade and the AI image to video templates. Other than promising the video generations are now more powerful and stable than ever before, does that mean that they weren't prior to this? And if they weren't, then can we get a refund on all the credits that we wasted? I'm going to click on the Try Now button and take a quick peek. It still seems to be the same 30 credits cost for a 10-second video feature as before, but just with some new templates added, such as Fairy Me, Hanabi Grace, Spin Sway, Luna Guard, Dark Angel, OL Diva, Nurse, Jump to Cloud, Heroine Power, and Light Warrior. It's amazing that all of these new templates, except for one, are showing scantily clad females. Do you detect a pattern here? I think I'll pass. I better quit now before I get into trouble. In the meanwhile, I'll keep checking on some of these improved features to see what is really different other than a few spelling corrections and maybe a bug swat. A bug got in my mouth. A bug swat here and there. Regardless, I highly recommend that you fire up Cam and install the latest update if you haven't already done so. Thanks to everyone for watching. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. And make sure everyone has clicked on that subscribe and like button. I'll see you next time.